that was worth, I was going to prove them right. Also, at the same time, I had an opportunity to do something. I'd been given the show. See, I was saying I wanted. See, now I have it. Quavo, see you do it.
You here all the tools that you need to do.
And the thing is, you talk about tools. It wasn't just the desk, the studio. I mean, please. When I walked into Lion Place, and I think I've told both my chairman and my CEO this. I remember thinking, oh, you're still painting the walls?
Moab says that as well.
They're still putting together the microphones? Wow. I mean, remember, I have left set up to we're starting up. But also, when you talk about tools, I will tell you this about, and this is my entire board. At no point did those people not have my back. And one of the major reasons has always been very difficult for me, and I get offers.
I was going to say that, yeah.
I get offers. Is that I've always wondered, would I get the same support from the board? My board has never not stood with me. She's controversial, she's this, she's that. I mean, years later, I remember Kipono telling me, Chick, you have no idea how many times I've had to go to State House. I've been summoned because of something you said. You know. But even I remember then, it was probably Ezra Bunyanyazi, who came and he said, you need to focus on that studio. Stop worrying about this court case, we'll handle it. That's our job. You go do your job. And let me tell you, from that day, I do my job. We get sued, we get threatened, we get what?
Let's talk about, people don't understand, maybe those who've come later, they don't understand just how radical Kiss was as a station coming, or even let me just call it Radio Africa at that time. Because we only had Capital FM. I'm a youth at this time.
Actually, by the time Kiss came into the market, there was Capital, there was Nation FM, because I remember Tony Patty actually left from Capital and went to Nation. Nation FM had come into the market. Even Bob had left Capital to go to Nation FM. I think it gone and then went to Family or something. Minor left and went to Nation. Yeah, Minor left before me. There was quite a number of other stations. We were 14th into the market, 13th or 14th.
My bad. Definitely got that wrong. Definitely. In terms of then what was going to make this station unique?
I think vision is everything. And I say this because I remember just ridiculous things Patrick used to say. I mean, one of these days, you've got to find Martin Kafafa. Martin and I, first and foremost, I remember those early days, we were everything. I think he was also HR. I mean, it was like 25 people. Yeah. So we would come off air and then would go.
Breakfast was you and...
At the time, it was me, Lorna Rungo, she was my newsreader. Yes. And Steve Muturi.
Was the co-host thing there?
Yes, Steve Muturi was my co-host.
He was the co-host?
Yes, he was the funny guy. Yes.
Also, you've always had the funny guy.
I've always had a funny guy.
Is it you who came up with the formula of the funny guy?
No, that was Vaughn. Vaughn was my first program controller. Yeah.
So there was no funny guy in radio before?
No. But Vaughn and I think his name is Dirk Anthony. Everybody called him Dirk the Knife. Who worked with William and Patrick. I mean, their speciality was putting together radio shows, winning radio shows. I'm not going to promise you, but if you ever look for Patrick and he says yes,
he's on my bucket list. My bucket list, I say.
Is that so? He's very clear. He understands things are created a certain way, and then he looks for the person who does that thing, and he gets that person to create that thing. Yes. So Dirk, Vaughn, all these guys.
So they created this morning show.
Yes, they created the structure. I'm sure you've heard him say this. Patrick says radio is a science. It's a science. And he believes that there's a way you structure the music, you format it, you format the talent. There's a way that is done. And that's what I was given.
what input were you bringing in? Like what was the elements of Caroline that you were bringing into this structure?
What I think, without a doubt, Vaughan said it, but William used to say it as well, is that they believed I had a voice, but I used it badly. And I remember Vaughan asking me, doesn't anything happen in this city? Why are you all talking about the Spice Girls? I mean, that kind of hurt. Please, I was on somebody else's payroll. I was like, don't talk like that about my station. But it had never occurred to me that Nairobi is interesting enough to be spoken about.
What?
No, you say that now. But when you were listening to Capital then, what the Spice Girls were doing, what Posh Spice and were doing, and what Chumbawamba, where they were seen, who Rod Stewart had divorced and married, and what Sylvester Stallone was doing, that was the news.
Yep.
Now meet Vaughan Hobbs, who says,
isn't there something Nairobi's doing?
I mean, you're going to have to talk about this city. I've just come out of 4 years of only talking about London or anything else but. And the only time I mention this city is when I'm giving you a traffic update.
Oh my God. And now I'm the generation that received that, hence why our culture was so westernized.
Yes.
In terms of what's cool, what's hip.
Yes.
I mean, I know Mel B. I know.
Yes. I'm sure
Spice.
I've just said Posh Spice and somebody's thinking, who? Exactly. Because remember, she's not even Posh Spice anymore. She's Victoria Beckham. Yes.
You see?
So Vaughan is the one who said, doesn't anything of importance happen in
this city?
Yes.
Oh man.
Ouch. Ouch.
Ouchest.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does that mean for you?
Is that finally I need to be in. And that's why I tell you, connect the dots backwards. University of Nairobi. Because I could have come out of Loreto Convent Valley Road and gone straight to a college in Dorchester and then Dortmund. And then come back here to have a job on I would have a problem getting into it, but I knew the roads, I knew the potholes.
You are on the ground.
Yes. Na mimi niliishi South B.
You've walked to
Barito Road. Hakuna matatu inaweza kunishtua.
You've walked at
Waulize hata sasa. Hata sasa.
Don't be fooled by the hills.
Wayaki we mi waambia si ugonge. Si ugonge.
I love
it. And of course, naturally, because I never take off this, they look at me and says, Kompole. That's good.
So, I mean, that must have been exciting because now you get to...
But very intimidating because you've not done it before and you don't know how to. And nobody else before you has done it.
This is what I'm trying to make people understand. You guys were pioneering this thing.
Completely.
It's not like...
Completely.
When you give the narrative, somebody's like, but didn't you just look at what you're...
No.
Other people came in to start copying what you were doing.
Yes. Completely. Completely.
So what do you do? Give me, like, in those first days. Because the first time morning breakfast was, the mic went up and it went air. It was, and a voice was being spoken. It was your voice.
Actually, I had run test transmissions, you know, because we, Guerrilla Marketing 101. Our big campaign as we went on air was called I've Made the Big Switch to Kiss 100. And we had people, literally they had to have. And I remember when our team went to the ground and they went to USIU had it written on their foreheads, on their chests, because we were giving away silly money. I'm going to try and remember, but silly money for every person who said I've made the big switch to Kiss 100. Yes, I mean, such a huge campaign. Remember, I'm on air.
And so I don't. You're only in Nairobi.
Yeah, we're only in Nairobi. Yes, we're only in Nairobi. But that's what we wanted people to say. I've made the big switch to Kiss 100.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Are you sitting in marketing strategies at this time or not yet?
There's 25 people.
Ukondani.
My payroll number is 010. I don't know what Martin's is. I need to ask him. Yeah, I mean, so we come off air. I spend about 30 minutes with Vaughan talking about what went right with the show, what we could have done better, and then what's the plan for tomorrow's show. It's called a 10:01 meeting. And then...
I like that 10:01.
Yes, 10:01. Yeah, 10:01. You get into a 10:01 meeting. And then, because obviously we were getting serious fire because we were shaking up the market. We had to go. We would go up. I remember the number of times we met George Luther when he was still at Scanad. He had just left Coca-Cola. Yeah. So Martin and I were the salespeople. There are people in this market who'll tell you, I've known her so long. Just sat here and waited for an LPO. I've known, so let me tell you how strange the world is, and this is not about me. My excitement for Patricia Thau being appointed as the new MD at WPP, Scanad. You know, I knew Patricia when she was still at Unilever, and she had launched a new hair shampoo. And I got to do, this is when I was working with Surazuri, with Lindsay McIntyre, and I got to do this thing where before the shampoo and after the shampoo, and when I look at how long I've known Patricia, and I've known her since then, L'Oreal, EABL, and then now she's got this job, and I'm like, ma'am, hi, I knew you when, but
there's
then
a story behind the glory.
There is, but also for me, I'm like, I've known you a minute. And she shows me what my next trajectory can look like. I have to hold true to the process, to the journey.
Ooh.
You have to hold true to it, you know? So, you know, when I think about the times Martin and I, and then came back, because we still used to do the music research. So because it was in numbers, the way it was entered onto the database, Martin, I would read out the number to him. So I'd say 3581, he would key it in. Yeah. So that's what we used to do. What else did we?
There's something you've talked about that's huge for me. The advert was for radio.
Yes.
But here you are doing sales, because sales is the advertisement. So the reason
we're a commercial radio
exactly,
station.
What you're selling is products and services.
Yes.
Those are adverts. Those adverts.
Yes.
You are going to.
We sell air.
Yes. The reason you're going to scan it.
Yes.
I always think
and
about
to everybody.
Gen Z that may not be understanding why I'm not saying that. You are going to say, guys, put your adverts on our show.
I have never not sold. Yeah. I can't remember. I've never not sold. I'm still dragged out of the office because we need to close this one, Caroline, just come. But I mean, when I think about my network, my business network, it is literally the Janice Kimolis, the Catherine, the people who are like, no, we don't have budget, or we're not giving you Sprite.
Yep.
We're not giving you Sprite.
And remember, it's been said, maybe not on air, but it's also been said at the background, don't give those guys business. Yes.
And you go back and you repitch and you convince. And
what happens when you get a no? In fact, that's
I don't think I've, even now, I'm always like, why don't you revisit it when you're ready? Yes. And you go back and you go back and you go back. Because you've got to remain sincere as well. You also can't so you've caught feelings, I've caught feelings, and then what do we now do? No, that's just silly.
You know, when January came, I was like, I need to ask Caroline to be on CTA.
Holy copy, God, they cancelled all our advertising when he was running Pilsner. He was so upset with us. And I don't even know what we did. Wait. I mean, I could tell you stuff, but we don't have that.
Now, I'll just to bring it up, even now after the Shafi, what I do know is that money was cut off from Radio Africa budget spending.
Yes.
So it's constant relationships, constantly going back.
And you go back and you engage. You wait for the dust to settle and you pick up the phone.
Stop catching feelings, guys.
This is work, by the way. Grow up. Also, grow up.
Okay.
Yes.
I really love the fact that I hadn't thought about the co-host. I thought it started with Nyambani.
No, it was Steve Muturi. Lorna Rungu was my newsreader for the longest time. And then Carol Dole joined us. I think she joined us straight out of Reuters, or I think she had gone to BBC by then.
In fact, the beginning of the show, who was there? How did the show structure look?
It was Lorna did the news. I was on the desk. Steve Muturi was my sidekick.
After that, after breakfast?
There was an amazing, cool guy. He was called Mr. Something. He went to Tanzania. I remember I worked with Ted. Big Ted.
Yes. He was here. And he mentioned
Kevin Moshiro. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine is not there at the time.
No. Minor started reaching out to us and we were like, dude, you've got to get Minor.
Yeah, because he was on TV.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. No, he was at NTV, but he was NTV Drive. He was at Nation FM Drive.
Yeah.
And we're like, you've got the gig. We hear you play golf with a CEO. You know, why are you? And you know, I have to
so
give it to
deep.
Minor. One day, I have to tell Minor's story. I have to.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and I remember two things. Can I say this about Minor?
Of course.